Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bodied, a Cloud9 Fancast. I am your host, Havokpus, and I'm joined, as always, by Frozencreek.
Hello, hello. It is another exciting week in esports and in the world. It's hot as hell outside up here.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine it is July.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably hotter where you are, but I'm not used to all this heat. It's gonna be 91 tomorrow. When I'm golfing, and I'm not looking forward to that.
Here it would probably be like 98 plus like 80% humidity or something stupid like that. So it would be worse.
Yeah, well, yeah. It will probably have humidity too, but I shouldn't complain
Yeah.
too much. But I will. It's gonna be 93 on Monday. Jesus.
Oh, that's
Oh
not
my god,
that
it's
bad.
90s for the next week and a half.
Oh, that's child's
All
play.
right, fine, kill me. Sorry, I digress. It's gonna be 100% win rate in LCS this week again.
Oh yeah, that's a forecast I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, sorry, I digress. Carry on.
We have let's get through some small things first. Rainbow Six. I forgot to mention this on the last episode, but they are actually alive and doing things. Their season actually just started. Last week they won their game. I can't remember who they played against. I think it was Talon Esports. Last week and this week they went 1-1. They played against Q Confirm and beat them. I think like 7-5, and then they lost to Gust Gaming. Maybe it's like 6-8. I can't remember. But so we're 2-1 right now in the standings. I think in terms of win rate, which is pretty good. I'm glad that Rainbow Six is actually doing things. I still hate that they come on at like 5 or 6 in the morning, so I can't really watch them. But it's good that they're still alive.
Yeah, huge plus.
Huge plus. PUBG Mobile, I know for all of those fans out there who are just begging for PUBG Mobile news, the team has finished 4th place overall in their split that they were participating in. They qualified for the PMWL West, which I can only assume stands for like, I don't know, PUBG Mobile World League West, maybe. I haven't found out what that acronym stands for, but they qualified for that, which is great.
Nice. Any clue when that is? If
I
not,
have no idea.
I'll see if I can find out super quick.
But being 4th place overall is pretty good. I think that I remember when they started out, I think they were kind of low in the standings. They were kind of hovering around 11th place, maybe. But
Yeah,
then they
you were
shot up.
right. It is PUBG Mobile a World League.
Okay.
And it begins July 10th and goes through August 9th.
Awesome. So mark your calendars for July 10th for more PUBG Mobile action. I'm sure so many people are wanting to hear this and be like, finally, the next PUBG Mobile event.
Yeah, we're the only like big org in our region, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, at least we're seeing some value in this PUBG Mobile stuff. It's still weird that we're doing PUBG Mobile and not just regular PUBG.
Yeah, it is. But
I know I mentioned that like every episode, but it's still mind blowing that like you have PUBG and then you have PUBG Mobile, and then we go, no, the mobile one's the more value creating option. We're gonna stick with this.
yeah, I still need to watch it. I think it came on at when I was doing something, but I ended up watching LCS or EU LCS or something because I would like to see the broadcast at some point.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it, and it actually looks oddly very good for like a mobile esports event type deal.
Yeah, which is pretty cool to see. But moving on, some Valorant.
Moving on, yeah, we have Valorant stuff. So this happened like literally right after we recorded, I think, our last episode, last week ish. But we officially have signed Relics as our second Valorant signing. So now our team consists of tens and Relics, and then like 3 blank placeholders. I think this is mostly a good move. Relics was looking like, with the squad we've been playing with, he definitely seemed like the second best player on the team that we've been working with. I'm not sure how much you've caught of our Valorant stuff.
No, I actually still haven't watched it because I got bored that one time.
Oh,
But I promise if something comes on this week and I'm not busy, I'll watch it.
okay. Well, he looked to be in the stuff of following this kind of squad. He looked like the second best player. That being said, when they went into the T1 Ignition Series tournament, this is part of Riot's like initiative, right, to like really jumpstart their esports scene. They're doing all these like ignition events, and T1 did an event. This is the team with like Brax and Skadoodle. We kind of did not good. We went 1-3. It was pretty bad. You probably didn't watch it, but
no, I was busy, I think.
So in the 2 games, in the I think it was 1 and 2. We were like 3rd place in the standings or whatever, but in the first 2 matches we played, and these are best of 3s, right? So we went like 0-4, and guess what we didn't do for those first 2 series, Frozen? We didn't play Sage at all. So for 4 matches, we didn't play the single character that pretty much everyone has agreed you need to have on your team.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like she's the one character that has healing. She has her ultimate resurrects a dead ally. She has like this little slow field that she throws on the ground, and you're just really slow when you walk through it. So like it doesn't hurt you, but pretty much no one walks through it because if you're on it, you're pretty much dead because you move so slow. And she has like a physical like ice barrier wall that she can throw up. So she can pretty much just cut off an entry point like physically. So really valuable kit, right? You think everyone's like, oh geez, we got to play her. We didn't play her for the first 4 games that we played, and we lost, pretty naturally. The team also was just we really didn't get to watch them on stream, so I'm not sure exactly how they're performing. But looking at sort of the numbers and how we were performing, we really didn't play well. And we the only match that we won was the one where we did play Sage, and we were like, let's play Sage.
Well, that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah, I think that I really hope that going forward we use a few different people, because I think Shinobi and Mitch really aren't cutting it. We had Poach this time, who was not, he's not our usual person. I think like Infinite decided to go back to CSGO. So we're not playing with him anymore. So we're kind of using just like a filler slot, but Shinobi and Mitch really aren't cutting it, and their play's been really weak the past few events, and I think that we should really try to find different people, because it seems like they're really hurting the team, because I think Tens is expected to really carry the team, and if you don't have enough people that can play close to his level of just raw talent and ability, I think that puts a lot more pressure on him, and I think he maybe struggles a bit more, and I think you just need a coach. Like, you have to be trolling, I think, if you're going to play a best of 3 series multiple times and not once pick Sage. I think if you had a coach, that would fix a lot of problems, and they'd just be like, no, you play Sage because it's important and it's impactful,
Oh yeah. So how does it work? Is each person on like a specific duty? Is like one specific person on support duty, one person on
it's kind of similar
control?
to CSGO, where different characters have different play styles, and those play styles kind of determine what you play. Like, if you're going to play a duelist like Jet or Phoenix or Raze, you're kind of going to be the entry person that goes in first. And if you're going to play like a Sage, you're going to kind of hang back and be more of the supportive player. So duties are kind of dictated that in terms of who plays what. I think that's kind of up in the air. I think not in this event, but I think in the last one, we saw Tens play Sage. And Tens doesn't really play Sage. Tens usually plays like Jet. He's usually the duelist player that's playing, the character that's supposed to really frag out and get a lot of kills. But he was playing Sage. He was still getting a lot of kills, but he was playing Sage, which is weird. So in terms of like who plays what and what they do, I think that might still be up in the air. But each character, when you lock it in, you're kind of put into a box of like, here's what you kind of need to do.
Okay, interesting. So it's more like CSGO than Overwatch.
It's a mix of both. It's really weird, but
Okay.
It's really fun. I hope we do better. I hope we get a different lineup, and I hope we are looking, now that ranked is out. Now there have been multiple kind of events. We're starting to hopefully look at players that are playing in sort of these more unsigned team groups and kind of looking at who is really good, who would really work together well with Tens and Relics, and form a roster with a much higher skill level than what we've been showing. Because since nothing's determined yet, I think that you can play around with it a lot. And I really want to see a higher skill level than what we've been showing.
Have you been playing ranked?
Yeah, I played a little bit the other day. I did my placements. I got bronze 2, which is a major improvement over being iron 1 throughout the entire beta.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, I felt really proud when I didn't get iron, and I'm like, yes, I don't suck completely.
Have you been playing besides that?
No, I've been really preoccupied with playing Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, I'm PS4 or the old one?
No, it's on my computer. I'm playing the original, not the remake.
Oh yeah, the OG is really good.
It's very sad. The story is actually really depressing, and I didn't know that going in. So like everything that's happening, just like, this is really sad. This isn't like the other Final Fantasy games.
Or so did you get to the, or I don't want to spoil anything because
don't spoil anything.
Great game, or for like the listeners. But how far are you without spoilers?
I got the buggy. I got like my first little vehicle.
Okay, so you're not that far. You just got out of the city.
I got out of the desert. Yeah.
Okay, so you got a while to go.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it's been a while since.
It's a very big game.
Played it.
But yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
I guess moving on, we can move on to CS:GO. They were in the Beyond CS Summit tournament. They did okay. I think they lost 1-2 to Genji in like a really critical match that they needed to win. I think it had implications to going to the next major. But they lost that, so now we're in kind of a precarious situation. I think we can still go. I'm not entirely sure how likely our chances are and how much we have to put in to, do it. But it definitely hurts our chances of going to the next major.
Yeah, so are they expecting to still have majors?
I think they're
the virus.
I'm not super well into the CS scene, but from what I have seen and heard, it looks like they're still trying to do the major, and they'll probably do more of an online event somehow.
Okay, cool. I hope so. The majors are always fun.
Majors are always fun. They're huge events. They always have like really, really good matches and some really hype play. I'm really hoping that we do see some major events like this and throughout other esports stuff, because not having major events always kind of sucks. And, like with MSI, I was really disappointed that we didn't have some form of MSI, because I really would have liked to see, how does C9 measure up against this other international talent? But I'm hoping, that in the future they have figured out some way to do it.
All right, so I looked it up. It looks like, we are playing in the 5th place match against Furia Esports on Thursday at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time. So this podcast will probably be out by then because I am booked the whole weekend. So
yeah, I believe that the Furia match is a must-win for us. I think.
yeah, so that would get us into stage 3, and I'm not sure what happens at stage 3. I can only see
Right.
lower bracket round 1. That would probably no. We would, I think, go up against 100 Thieves. That
Oh
would
man,
make
if we got to go
sense.
against 100 Thieves, that's gonna be tough. We always lose against them. They're better than us at the moment.
Except the one time that we came back from like 12-3 or some shit like that.
Yeah, except for
And that
that.
was a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah, who knows?
all
I'm
right,
really
so
curious. I am really curious though. Do you think that if we kind of fail to get to the major, do you think that we'll see some tiny changes being made to the roster?
I don't think so. I don't. It doesn't seem like C9 is really. I don't want to say caring, but I think it seems that they are willing to wait it out and not invest too much more resources into it than they have to. And I think it would have to be maybe 6 months from now and missing out on more than a one major and there being a glaring weakness than anything else.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it could go two different ways. I could see maybe C9 wanting to make adjustments to maybe make it so we win more and can be a bit stronger. I could also see us waiting because they have expectations for, you know, where we are right now and how, can we get better. It's kind of a coin flip thing. So I'm really curious to see what happens after this, if we'll start to make changes again or if we'll just stick to the roster that we have.
Yeah. But it looks like it's a double elimination bracket for stage 3. So we do have to win, but that already started technically. So if we win tomorrow, I'm so confused in how this is set up, but if we win
Don't worry about it.
tomorrow, then we will play shortly thereafter against 100 Thieves. So look forward to that, and I will be tuned in. Probably not to the game tomorrow, but in the future because I am enjoying CS:GO a lot more.
Oh, well, that's good.
Especially now that we have some fun players to actually watch this time.
Yeah. Same here. It's actually fun to watch them play. But moving on, we have some good London Spitfire news for once. We, I think earlier in the week or last week, we lit up Hangzhou Spark with a 3-0 victory, and this London Spitfire team somehow we really turned it on, Frozen. You can really see the improvement. We're looking a lot better than we did at the start of the season. Everyone seems to be performing a lot better. We seem to have a lot better grasp of who does well with who and how we can play together. This team is just looking really great, and I'm really glad to see the team actively improving. And we're getting wins against teams that we can, and we're challenging teams that are viewed as stronger against us. I think our last loss was against the New York Excelsior a couple of weeks ago, but it was like a 1-3 loss, but it was a really, really close 1-3 loss. So, we're challenging these top teams and we're beating teams that we should. And I think that a lot of people are trying to get excited for the London Spitfire again because performing in expectations, they're beating teams that they should, and they're making it really difficult for others. So I think that, and they're constantly improving, unlike the past iteration where they would just throw to lesser teams, and seem to have trouble with those lesser teams, but then they'd beat some like really good team and they were kind of all over the place. So the greater consistency is really great.
Yeah, and right now they're sitting just outside playoffs on map difference. The win against Hangzhou 3-0 actually is big for us because they're sitting just above us in the playoffs cutoff, and I think that's mostly because they played 4 more matches.
Yeah.
I'm
I
reading
think
this correctly.
Yeah. We actually have a pretty big grudge match, if you will, on the to get some fireworks out, celebrate the good old 4th of July. And this is at a whopping 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're playing up against the Seoul Dynasty. We're going up against our old friends Jester and Prophet. Personally, I think this would be a big statement win if we get like a 3-0 and just smack them down and say like, look, we can play better without you guys, and plus we're a strong team and we're way better than the before. So I would love to just see us beat the Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah, and right now they're sitting just above us in the rankings. Excuse me. They're at 7-7 and we're at 6-7. So if we win, then we would jump above them on map difference just because we are -6 and they are -5. So a win would automatically, at the minimum, tie us.
And I think they can do it too, because from what I've heard, the Seoul Dynasty has been very kind of like underperforming, and they've been struggling in a few of their matches, and they haven't been living up to the expectations yet again. Which is kind of like, this is like the 3rd season in a row where Seoul just kind of like, they have this roster and everyone's like, oh, they're going to do great, they're going to crush it, and then they just kind of putter out and don't do nearly as well as they should. So I think we have a really good shot at beating them, and I would really like to beat them for a number of reasons.
Oh yeah, 100%. I haven't watched them since I think when they played the Excelsior, I saw them blow up the last map on I can think of the name. It's the Russian map.
Oh, Volskaya.
Yeah, the capture the point one.
Yeah, everyone hates Volskaya. Fuck that map.
Yeah. So that was the last time I saw them in action, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be up at 6 a.m. on July 4th.
No, not many are. I don't blame you.
Yeah, so unfortunate, but since they're on YouTube, there's a ton of replays of it available, I'm sure.
Yeah, there you go. You can catch the VOD later.
All right.
But moving on, we got LCS.
Yep.
Academy went 2-0. Not much to talk about there. I don't think. I honestly can't even remember the match.
Yeah, I watched them both, and I don't even remember what
right,
happened.
like you remember them winning, but you don't remember what happened or how.
Yeah, and like I'm the same way with the Mortals match, because I know that we won, but like nothing really happened.
The Immortals match was so
more ahead.
The Immortals match was so laughably quick. Like, I remember, like, during that match, I was actually watching and I had to turn the sound off because my dad called me. By the time my conversation with him ended, the match ended.
Oh, woof.
And it was, but I noticed that, Licorice did break out the Wukong, which is oddly rare in North America. Like every other region is like pick banning Wukong, but we're just, in NA, everyone just seems really behind, and they seem to favor like Ornn Aatrox a lot more than Wukong. Even though from how Licorice played it, he looks stupidly broken.
Yeah, and it is really strong, and it blows my mind that Wukong has only been picked a few times this split. I think that might have been the only time, actually.
Yeah, I think it is. Like, Licorice, I mean, from what I remember in that match, Licorice did a really, really good job.
Yeah, he's only been picked once, and because of that, he has 100% win rate, the highest kill participation of any champion, and the lowest death percentage of any champion, because he never died against Immortals.
That with the mix of Twisted Fate, I do remember watching, like, Niski would just constantly, whenever Destiny was up, he would Twisted Fate teleport to top lane. They would 3-man dive and kill Lorem, and they did that like 4 times. And
yeah,
at that point, the game was over pretty much. And C9 steamrolled. Like, you really can't talk about the Immortals match because it went over so quickly and almost without incident.
Yeah. One quick fun fact, I guess. Because Immortals decided to promote their academy to LCS, it happened, I think, Friday night or Saturday
Yeah,
morning.
it was that week. Like they got like one win, I think.
But they did it after Cloud9 Academy beat them. So on this Immortals roster, lost to Cloud9 twice that week. Once in Academy and once in LCS.
I do find that very funny.
And they were down more than 6K at 20 minutes in academies, so I don't know quite what they expected.
Yeah, I mean, this at least the Academy roster looks way better than the super nepotism LCS roster, where you have Soaz, who hasn't looked good in a while, Aika, who I have no idea how you're ever going to make him good, and then Altec and who's his support, Gate?
Oh, maybe I don't.
Yeah, like
someone who's not
like their
good.
bot lane is like, why do you have them in when you could be playing Apollo and Hakuho? Who
aren't good, but they're better.
I mean, I think they're arguably better. So it's a real mystery. But
Yeah.
I guess let's circle back and talk about the Team Liquid match. I think it was a really good game. I think really our only issue was that we had that really weird level 1 that we wanted to try.
Yeah, and that was...
Or was that the Immortals game?
That was the Immortals game because it was against Ivern.
No, yeah, right. Yeah, the Team Liquid one was we tried to I think our only misplay was that was during the Herald, where instead of killing the Herald, we tried to dive because we were like, no, we can make this play work. We can make this play work, and then it backfired.
Yeah, and I think that was the Liquid game was the game of the weird draft where they tried to get tactical to pick Aphelios, and then they just didn't pick Aphelios.
Yeah, I remember that because it looked like C9 really did have a plan because they were banning out every other ADC because they're like, no, take Aphelios. We want you to. Because I think the plan was they were going to flex Cassiopeia bottom because Cass actually does counter Aphelios pretty well early on. And so they were wanting them to take Aphelios, then we'd get a really, really good bot lane matchup, and we'd have like a hard winning bot lane, and then we could use Zoe and Lee Sin to kind of roam around elsewhere, which is kind of our plan regardless, but they picked Kai'Sa instead. I think in the matches the past couple of weeks against these like really strong or stronger teams, it seems that C9 kind of has trouble dealing with Twisted Fate ultimate. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because it's a really difficult ultimate to play around normally. If you're playing against a super coordinated team, if he destinies and you're not anywhere to cancel it, there's nothing you can realistically do to really stop a play from happening, right?
Yeah, he is a tough champion to play against. I don't really think Team Liquid used it all that well. Impact did receive a few destinies, and he didn't really make much of an impact, and Blabber just ran over Broxa again. So Jetson didn't have much of a chance, but I guess it was kind of weird to not try and play to their win condition, which should just be through mid and not like a mid jungle thing, but just like straight up through mid. And Jetson playing Twisted Fate doesn't really do that.
Yeah, Jensen, like oddly enough, like the Golden Guardians match where I think it was Demonte playing TF, he looked way more impactful on Twisted Fate than Jensen did. It's not to say that they were trying similar plays, but with how Golden Guardians used Twisted Fate, it was a lot more difficult to play around than Team Liquid did. I think that the thing that really saved us, I think, was just Blabber having a really good jungle presence. Like, even if we make weird mistakes and weird plays early, we're still able to, move around the map and get objectives. Like, we were getting dragons, I think, pretty consistently from what I remember at least. And then really it was just, I think we put Sven on Cassiopeia partly because like we had like a late game contingency of if things go really poorly, we have this really insane late game carry in the Cassiopeia to kind of do insane amounts of damage. And that's what Sven did. He didn't really die much, if at all, I think, during that game. And he was able to just really help the team when it came to actually fighting as a team.
and I think that we snowballed the game quick enough to stop Team Liquid from buying too much MR.
Yeah.
Because Blabber and Licorice, their damage would fall off eventually, and we'd be an AP heavy team. But I'm looking at the 30-minute mark roughly in the game, and there were 2 MR boots, 3 MR boots, and that was it for MR on team.
Yeah, when you're up
Team
against like a
Liquid.
Zoe and a Cassiopeia, you definitely need more than that.
Yeah, like even if I guess, or we beat them before they could build it, because Aatrox was building something, but that, or but at that point it was too late.
Yeah, I think that I do want to talk about Licorice for a second, actually. I think that when watching this, it looked like he was having a rough game. But when you look at his build, there's kind of a reason for that. He went the Blade of the Ruined King, I think, Trinity Force build. So he was like, or maybe it was like Bork Death's Dance. I can't remember what he rushed.
He finished with Triforce and Blade. So I think probably went Bork first.
So he had like a good like laning like profile build, but when it came to like team fighting, he's actually really squishy. So I think that he struggled a bit, but that kind of wasn't in his play. It was more the fact that he was just a lot squishier than normal. So when he was playing set, he would, he was dying a bit more, but that was mostly because like he just couldn't take as much damage as normal.
Yeah, and he only died 4 times, so it's not like he was inting.
Yeah, although, and I think most of those were. I think most of them were also because Jensen would teleport up to the top lane or wherever he was to help out in a fight, and so it's like, well, I'm just really outnumbered. There's not much I can do.
Yeah, and I think NA it needs to learn a lesson, and that is to stop picking Aatrox.
Yeah, the top lane meta is just really weird. Like Licorice actually gave an interview, and he said that NA is just really behind in the top lane meta because Wukong is a much stronger pick, and there's I think other picks that are becoming stronger. I'm not sure. I haven't followed other regions as heavily, but we're still stuck in this Ornn Aatrox meta when other regions have moved on to other picks around other things. So it's kind of weird that it's still weird that we picked Wukong. And we're the only team to pick Wukong.
I'm honestly surprised that it didn't come out the first week, but I'm looking at the play and win percentages for each champion right now, and the most played top laners are Aatrox and Ornn with a win rate of 36% and 27% respectively. So
what is that versus like newer picks like Wukong? I guess Wukong we only have one pick,
Wukong's
but like
picked twice.
Like
Volibear has a 44% win rate. Set has a 50%. Jace has a 71, and I think that's probably because Licorice played Jace twice.
I think Kumo also played Jace.
Yeah, and Kumo also played Jace. So that's 3 or 4 games right there that were probably wins.
Yeah, but it does show that there seem to be more ideal kind of picks going around, but people are still stuck with, oh, I'm going to pick Aatrox and Ornn. It could be since Wukong and some other picks are being banned more. Like, I know Volibear is being banned a lot more often, so it could just be that those are the, if you're going down the tier list, those are the ones just always come up because other things are getting banned more. But it is kind of frustrating that as a region we're kind of behind in what's going on.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen someone like FlyQuest try like Mordekaiser Talon or something, because I know Power of Evil has had some massive games on Talon in the past, but I don't think he's really like OP right now. But I think that'd be fun to watch someone try, because it's not like they're good, so they might as well try something to do good with, because they have only been okay this split, I think.
Yeah, I would at least like some more diversity. But I guess moving on, we have what could be the easiest week for us coming up this week. This Friday, July 3rd at 10 p.m. Eastern time. We got another late game, but it's against Counterlogic Gaming. And then Saturday, July 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern, we are up against Dignitas. And this is probably going to be the easiest game for weekend for us, Frozen.
We have another Dig CLG weekend in August, surprisingly.
I
Our
want
last
to talk
weekend
about
is Dig CLG.
I want to talk about CLG first because there's some Dig news that might make our game Sunday interesting. I want to talk about it a little further. But what do you think about the CLG as a whole? Like, they're performing better, but they've still had some games where they're kind of struggle out to get wins.
So CLG is obviously improved because in 6 games they have their win total from last split, but they haven't really played anyone yet. Like, I'm trying to look back at their games, but their 2
they beat like
losses are to
100
FlyQuest.
Thieves. They beat Dignitas. They beat Golden Guardians. They beat Immortals. Like, their strength of schedule so far has been really poor. So, like, of course they're going to get wins through those teams.
And their 2 losses are to Evil Geniuses and FlyQuest.
Yeah,
Both teams
so
who are also 4-2.
Yeah. So I think like their strength of schedule allowed them to get some good wins. But in some of those wins, even they kind of struggled to get those. Because I remember, I think it was last weekend, I think they were about to lose one match and then they came back and then won, I think. Or was that a different game? I can't remember. They all blur together.
That would have been the 100th East game.
Oh, right.
Correct.
That game was a mess.
Yeah, it was. There's been a lot of clown fiestas this split, and half of them involve 100 Thieves.
Yeah. The 100 Thieves news of them benching Meteos and Stunt, I was not surprised. And, I think that with their performance, and this is kind of a tangent, but with the performance that Meteos has been giving this split, it's just, I think that's kind of inexcusable for a veteran of like his pedigree of, he came on Cloud9 and Cloud9 came in and they crushed it and he looked good for so long, but he was slowly declining in the later years. And at this point, his play is just so bad. It's kind of inexcusable that, you're either A, not willing to work on yourself and try to improve yourself to get back to where, I'm not saying not to get back to where you were when you originally were on C9, but to a competitive point, right? But also not to recognize when you should probably bow out. I know there's a certain degree of job security involved and all, but I think that if your play is that bad, to not recognize something and to not try to make some kind of change, I think is kind of inexcusable for someone like him.
Yeah, and I understand why he would be upset about it, but I don't really think it's that surprising, though. I do
It's
think
the
that
thing of
there are
where he
worse
did it to
members.
himself, right? Like, your play is bad, so you're going to get benched. Like, that's something that needs to be communicated to everyone in any sport. That should be expected. If you're not going to play well, you're going to get rotated out with another guy who can. So you need to play well, and if you're not going to play well, you're going to get benched. Like, there shouldn't be a conversation about it, right? And it should be like, hey, just letting you know. It's like, no. That's day one. You should go in with that realization.
Yeah, and I am excited to see 100 Thieves with contracts, because I think if they don't have a shot at Worlds this year, it would be a huge long shot for them to move their way up. Although there's 8 playoff teams, I think, which is kind of a joke, but I just don't think they're in a place, even with contracts or top form medios, to get there. But I do think this does bode better for them for next year, because our Ryoma will have a year under his belt contract, and someday it will have time to work together, and maybe they can sort out that bot lane. But they have put themselves in a tough position with imports at top and mid because there aren't a ton of great ADCs in supports in NA. So, but I am excited to see Contracts back because I have been a huge Contracts fan since he was on Cloud9 Challenger with High.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Contracts on the LCS stage for a hot minute. I remember when he was starting for Cloud9 and he looked really good. Like he had a similar Blabber vibe where he was like, okay, he's going to be the next big jungler in North America. And, he's going to, once he kind of develops, he's going to be it, right? But then he got an offer to like be in like, I remember he was going to be on Golden Guardians and he got an offer. He's like, I think I'm going to go my own way. I'm going to go join Golden Guardians. And
no, he bamboozled himself. He said that Jack offered him a contract, and then he said he wanted to look at.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then we signed Sven.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he bamboozled him.
I think that like really disrupted a lot of his growth because imagine if he had stayed on C9 versus what he did and got out after only being there for a short time. Like he probably could have been a way better jungler than what he kind of is now. But I'm really hoping that he does perform well because Contracts is a really nice dude, and I really want him to, be an LCS again because we need more North American talents and we need to develop people like him.
Yeah, and he's still only 20 years old, so he's still young.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to see. I was actually trying to see some stuff about Meteos facts, but I actually found probably the most surprising fact of the split doing this. If Oracle Lecture's beta is accurate, but getting there. I guess which jungler has the lowest gold difference at 10, second lowest XP difference at 10, and one of the lower CSGs at 10.
Is it Meteos?
No, it's Svenskeren.
Oh wow.
Svenskeren has a negative 350 gold difference at 10.
That's surprising.
Yeah, and he has 12 deaths.
That's
which
not
actually
surprising.
isn't that bad. Meteos has 24 deaths, which is most among junglers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we digress.
Yeah, getting back on track. So I kind of wanted to talk about the Dig match because Dig is also kind of just floundering and looking like hot garbage. They decided to do some change-ups of their own. They're bringing in Lorlo, Dardoch, and Phoenix in to start this weekend. At least I think that's the rumor, or that's the news. So
it must be new because I haven't seen that yet.
I think it might be the rumor. That's what I saw this morning. Let me see if I can find it.
I mean, either way, I don't think they're a good team.
No, I think this doesn't change a lot. I do think...
Yeah, I see that news now.
I don't think it changes much. Like, you're really just swapping out 3 washed out players for another, right? You're not bringing in any insane talent. It's like, okay, you're swapping out Froggen for Phoenix. That's not a huge upgrade. You're swapping out... who was their top laner?
It was
Viper.
Yeah.
You're swapping out Viper for Lorlo. Lorlo hasn't started in forever. Dardoch has maybe
Who was the jungler.
Dardoch is maybe the best of the 3 in terms of prospects, but he had a really rough split on TSM, and he's kind of struggled ever since he kind of debuted on Team Liquid way back. So, it's not like they're bringing in like, oh, they're bringing up the big guns now. We're kind of just swapping out skill level for skill level for the most part. At least I think.
I don't get the Phoenix move because Froggen is like a far better mid laner by far.
I think it's because Phoenix and Dardoch have better synergy. I think that they have similar play styles and they synergize a lot better.
So
because I think that Froggen's for at least from the comments I've seen, it's just that Froggen doesn't match with what Acadian wanted to do. Like, Acadian wanted to play aggressive and do aggressive plays, but Froggen is very sort of conservative with how he plays, and that just didn't gel. So maybe it's a deal of, if Darnik wants to be aggressive, Phoenix is also going to want to be aggressive, and that works. Maybe they just work better.
It's not going to work because Phoenix sucks, but all power to them, I guess. And like I will say, I think if you're playing against Cloud9 in a week, that it doesn't really matter who you play. So it is
you
a
don't
good
really have
opportunity.
You don't have much
to try stuff out, I guess.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Phoenix hasn't been good for a while.
Yeah, he's been just kind of like being one of those veteran spots in Academy that's kind of just taking up a slot. And that's actually a whole other conversation of, I think I saw a chart, and the high majority of people in Academy are just veterans that have played in LCS in previous points. So it's
which is not surprising.
Yeah, Academy is not serving its purpose of molding and building talent. It's basically the veteran retirement home where you played in LCS for a bit, but your skill level has dropped below to where you can't be in LCS more, but you can compete at the higher quote unquote level in Academy. So you're not, you still have a job, you're still playing, you're in the minor leagues now, but you're not really helping Academy serve its purpose. You're just furthering sort of the nepotism narrative that people are just going to sign these washed up players or players that really shouldn't be playing anymore. And instead of molding new talent, it's just, well, we have this secondary team because we're contractually obligated to, so we'll just stick like Phoenix and, we'll stick Phoenix and Lorlo on a team, even though that's really not how it should work.
Yeah. And like, I'm surprised someone hasn't tried to pick up Fudge, and instead they're going for like Lorlo.
Honestly, it could be that Fudge just makes better pay. I've heard that the C9 Academy team pays their players a bit better than most other Academy teams get paid. So it could be that he just has a good offer. He's able to win, and he's making better money in Academy than I'm going to chill on Dignitas's Academy team. Never ever see LCS playtime, except when their main roster just implodes and looks just as bad as the Academy team does. And then and only then I get called up, or if it's like tactical situation where he was sitting in high ranks for forever and it took like people begging and pleading management to give him a shot. With Fudge, it's like, oh, I have a secure job, I'm making better than most, and I can actually be successful.
Yeah, probably fair. I think so too. So tune in at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday to watch us play CLG. And if you are so inclined, you can watch an absolute clown fiesta at 9, which is 100 Thieves and Gold Guardians. And if you're a masochist, you can watch Dig and 100 Thieves play on Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or you can just wait to turn on your TV till 4 p.m. on Sunday when we take on Dignitas. Or leave it off because it's Dig and they're absolutely awful. Oh, but the good thing is we can go back to the good, the bad, the ugly, and the Dignitas again because they are that bad. So maybe we can get that back next week. I think we should reach out to Skeleton again because we play TSM next week. All right. Well, thank you for doing another episode. And we will see you guys on the flip side after July 4th. Yep. Have a good weekend. Bye. Bye.